What's up, Sip Sip? How y'all doing? So did you know that there are 4 types of people? Yeah, there are 4 types of people. And I'm going to explain these types to you, or these 4 groups, as my daddy would call them. So my dad was a well-known jazz musician in the Houston area. He hung out with all levels, all types of people. So as kids, when I grew up, kids stayed in the kids' place. We knew how to act, certain things that we did. But my dad was one who always told me the truth. He didn't hide nothing. He told me exactly what was going on, so I was always aware of what was going on at any moment. So when we would go places where do things, my dad would tell me about the 4 groups of people. So there are group 1s, group 2s, group 3s, and group 4s. So with those types of people, when we would go places, my dad would say, oh, these are my group 1 friends, or we're going to this group 1 establishment place or whatever. These are my group 2 people, or this person is a group 2, or these are my group 3 friends, or we going around some group 3s, or we're going to a group 4 event, or a group being around some group 4s. So having been a student and sitting under that for a while and understanding the dynamics of it, anytime he would say that or he would reference that, I already knew what he was talking about, or I knew what to expect or what was to come based on the group and where we were. So just to give you an overview, I'm gonna do a separate video for each group so y'all can understand it, more. So because this video will be 20-some minutes long. So in the group dynamic, group 1 is the group 1 group. So group 1s are people that they like quality over quantity. I'll say that again. They like quality over quantity. They necessarily don't need the attention. They don't need the fanfare. They don't need the attention. Education is key. Exclusivity is key. They value education over entertainment. That's group 1. Now, group 2, or so basically to sum group 1 up, or another thing about group 1 is group 1s do what they want to do when they want to do it. I'm going to say that again. They do what they want to do when they want to do it. They value education over entertainment. They like quality over quantity. They like the finer things in life, and they like exclusivity. They like exclusive things. So these people also have your high baccalaureate degrees, your masters, your doctorates, PhDs. They have, they're lawyers, doctors. So that's what it is. All right, now group 2. Group 2s are people who are basically like in the wind type of people. They could value education over entertainment. They could like exclusivity. You understand what I'm saying? They may not like, quality over quantity. But I think they prefer more quantity than quality. Even though they like quality, I think if we had to put it on the scale, they like quantity over quantity. They want the attention. On the surface, they appear that they don't want the attention, but behind closed doors, they want the attention. They want the attention on them. So education is important. Entertainment is also important. That's why I say they like a back and forth group, right? Group 2 wants to be group 1, but they don't fit. And the reason why I say they don't fit is because they can't do what they want to do when they want to do it. That's why I say they can't fit. So they have some of the characteristics of group 1, but completely, they can't be completely group 1. So, group 3. Now, group 3 people are very, very funny people. They are group 3 is your average everyday people. Education is important to them. Entertainment is important to them. They like quality. They also like quantity. They like exclusivity, but only when it's in their means. They don't do what they want to do when they want to do it. They do what they can afford and when time allows it. Family is important, just like family is important possibly to all of the groups, right? Group 3s are going to keep it 100. They're not going to sugarcoat it. They're going to give it to you raw and uncut. Group 3 are your basic everyday people. They may not have a baccalaureate degree. They may not have a college degree. They may not have graduated from high school. They may be a high school dropout. But hey, they real people. They solid. If they give you their word, that's what it is. So if I had to sum up group 3 people are people that live within their means, right? And they gonna keep it 100 with you. Now, we talked about group 1, 2, 3, and 4, or we talked about group 3, but now to talk about group 4. Group 4 are people that, and as I go over these groups, you can find yourself in 1 or 2 of these or 3 of these groups. Maybe, you don't necessarily, you're not contained or confined to one group. I go between all of them. Well, I stay out of group 2. I'm not in group 2 anymore. So group 4 are people that value education over entertainment. Let me say that again. They value entertainment over education. They value their feelings. They value how they feel, how they are perceived. They could have a bachelor's degree, they could have a high school diploma, they could be a high school dropout. But their value system is, I value entertainment over education. I value my feelings more than my character or how I feel. How I feel trumps. You understand what I'm saying? So they love entertainment. They love to look good. They always want to look good. They want to impress people by what they feel like what I put on defines who I am. So they could be, this person could have, a nice job. This person could be a high school dropout. So any one of these groups is based on attitude and characteristics. So you can tell. So it ain't just in one group. It's a lot of things that put you in these groups. But the overall characteristics of who you are determines what group you're in. You could have dropped out in the 5th grade, but if you got your stuff together, you could be group 1. So those are the 4 groups. I'm gonna do a video breaking each one down, so you can get a understanding of what group. So if you understand, or if you could get a glimpse of the groups, let me know what group you fall in. Because like I said, I would like to think I'm group 3. Well, I am group 3, but then I like group 1 things. But also push the right buttons, I go to group 4 real quick. Group 4 people don't mind going from 0 to 100. They kind of loud. They don't care who's around, who watching, who listening. So if you can figure out what group you in, or you think you know what group you in, or if you know somebody that's in one of these other groups, drop a comment. Plus hit that like button. It don't cost you nothing. See, group 4s don't want to hit the like button. but it don't cost you nothing. But then they'll turn right around and ask for a discount. So I don't know what to say. Hey, well, I'm gonna keep that to myself now. Y'all have a good one. Sip, sip.